All of us, and I mean children of God, being made in the image and likeness of God, calls for us, my friend, to treat each and everyone in a good way, full of love and patience, because you never know whom that person, my friend, is before God. Welcome on our show here. I am Y311H. Today, we shall be spreading good vibes and love together with you, child of God, as we react to good vibes videos. Videos that are incredible, with great informations. Videos that might make you smile, learn something, and get to understand why it is important to treat all earthlings with love and kindness. I would request you to subscribe, hit that like button, and join us till the end to make our mission here of spreading these virtues successful. Now, child of God, to unite the whole world, we need the help of the creator of the whole world and all earthlings in it, whom we believe is God Almighty. And we always acknowledge that creator with a short word of thanks before we start the show. My friend, we shall be doing that shortly, but I'd also share with you something. This one is words of wisdom. Very important. I'd request you listen to them carefully because they might help you in our day-to-day lives. Be careful not to do your acts of righteousness before men to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. Matthew 6, verse 1. Be good always. Let's talk with the Creator Almighty, the Father in heaven. Dear Lord Father, thank you for this day. Thank you, dear Lord, for your kindness and mercies. We come before you, Father, with your Son here and the daughter, today's viewer, in the name of your child, Jesus Christ. Father, as we react to the videos we have today, may you be with us till the end, Father. Thank you for the blessings, dear Lord, that you shall search, that you shall pass to this viewer's life, Father. Bless them, uplift their souls, Father, and help them carry all the burdens in their hearts. Remember their families, dear Lord, and those close to them, and help them to spread love to them, Father. Be with us, and we shall be thankful. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in.
Does not look like her. What do y'all think? 100%. Okay, I wanted to address this video because it's getting some attention and people are just going back and forth in the comments. So I wanted to clear up a few things. So if you haven't seen the video, it's a video of me in Egypt at this store. And as soon as I walked in the store, this man came up to me and was like, you look like, and I forgot what the name of the person was on the stone, but he was like, you look like her. So that's when I got up my camera and I was like, oh, I do look like her. And if you go back and watch the video, you definitely see some resemblance, the slanted eyes, the nose, the chin, etc. But I want to mention why I went to Egypt in the first place. So several years ago, I did this National Geographic DNA test. And it was a DNA test that would trace back human migration. Pause so you can read this. So in order to receive our results, we had to send a saliva sample. Anyways, once my results came back, it showed that my ancestors migrated from Nubia in Egypt. I forgot to mention that my boss was the one that bought this kit for us, and she bought it for about 10 to 12 of us. So out of everyone's results, mine came back, I would say the most unique. A few of them came back from a country in Africa, some were European, but mine was the only one that came back from Egypt. We were all so fascinated by this. Immediately, we all got on the computer and just started researching Nubian people. They were more fascinated by my results than their own results. So, of course, this sparked my curiosity even more. And I ended up planning a trip to Egypt several years later for my 30th birthday. So I ended up doing a Nile River cruise, and one of the stops was the Nubian village. Y'all, as soon as I got there, when I tell you something came over me and I immediately felt at home, I was literally, my tour guide and I were walking down the street and these ladies saw my henna tattoo that I just got done. And she was like, no, she was like, she was like, you look like us, you look like us. So we went over to talk and she just started peeling it off of my hand. And it really made me feel so at home, like I was just visiting distant family. We took pictures, we sat there, we talked. And before anyone says, oh, they just want to know, they didn't ask me for anything. Like, it was the most pleasant. I asked them if I could take a video and take pictures, and they were just so happy to do so. And I know that there's a bigger conversation to have surrounded around like ancestry and but DNA test does not lie, and this DNA traced back my dad's strand of DNA, and it said that our ancestors on my dad's side migrated from Egypt. What do y'all think?
Something I've recently discovered while working at my job is that boomers fucking hate getting the same energy back.
I can't agree enough. I used to work in a gas station, and this boomer would come in every day and be like, I need a Pepsi. And I was just like, yeah, they're back there. And you know how gas stations normally are in the US. You know, you have the giant refrigerated area with the several transparent doors so you can find whichever beverage you want. And he's like, well, go get it for me. And I was like, I'm not a waiter, I'm a cashier. You're supposed to go select your items and bring it. He's like, this country has gone to shit. It's like, I'm pretty sure convenience stores have worked more or less the same way since you were a kid. And then he's like, I don't appreciate your attitude. So I kicked him out, and then apparently he tried to get me fired, but it was a family business, and he came back the next day and apologized begrudgingly.
Nah, bitch, because if you know what's good for you, you'll get in your fucking vehicle. Playing with me, man. Listen, Xenia, Ohio, okay? I don't know what the fuck they got going on out here. I'm a lot more calm than I was a few minutes ago. I'm at the Shell gas station in Xenia, Ohio, okay? I don't typically wear my dog tags. I'm active military, but I'm traveling because I'm about to deploy and I'm taking my fiance my vehicle. So I go inside the gas station just to get some snacks. Got me some peach rings, got me a Monster. I got a water, right? So the guy at the register before me, long white beard, I don't know, I think he got like a Michelob Ultra, some shit like that. So he was like fumbling with his change or whatever. And I'm like, hey man, you good? You need a minute? So he turns around and he goes, oh, you military? I said, yeah, active Navy. He goes, oh, I was in the Corps for 20 something. I don't remember the exact fucking number. And I was like, oh, thank you for your service. And he looks at me and goes, they still letting people like you serve? What? So me, when I'm in somebody else's backyard, I don't really act a fool. You feel me? So I go, excuse me? And he goes, yeah, you colored people should not be. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I have so little patience for disrespect. I grabbed him by his neck, turned his head to the outside. I said, who's that sitting out there in the car with you? Is that your daughter? Is that your wife? Who is it? So the lady was like, excuse me, sir, can you let him go? I said, who is it? It's my daughter, can you let me go? I said, do you want to make it home to her tonight? Then leave me the fuck alone. I ain't do nothing to you. Like, why you even had to say that to me? So then I guess his son was in the car. So when I let him go and he came out the store and hopped in the whip, his son get out the car. I said, if you know what's best for you, you'll stay in that fucking car. And I do apologize. I don't be liking to record interactions like this, but like, I ain't never been here before, ever. I tried to just get my gas, going about my way. You know what I'm saying? Going about my day, rather. But I'm just like, bro, like, that was so unnecessary.
This man had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Yes, y'all know who I'm talking about? I'm talking about King Solomon. Most people know him from the story about the two ladies that were fighting over the baby, right? I did a video on that one. Let me know if you guys want me to redo it, but it is on my channel. But a lot of people don't understand just how important and how much we can learn from the story of Solomon, specifically his downfall. Now, Solomon built a great temple for God during his reign, and there was a lot of peace within the kingdom until he started to marry multiple wives, most of them for political reasons nations joining nations, and those wives from foreign nations, which God did not want, began his downfall because they served different gods than he did. And he actually began worshiping those gods as well. And y'all know that's a no-no. You cannot do that. There are no other gods greater than the one true God. God punished Solomon by saying, because of these things that you are doing, the nation of Israel would be divided into two. But because of his love for David, who was a man after God's own heart and Solomon's father, God said to Solomon that he wouldn't make him see this within his lifetime, because of course he loved his nation and didn't want there to be strife within it. But I find that his story is very important, especially for the day and age that we live in now, where sexual sin is so rampant and so mainstream and so normalized. The Bible says that sexual sin is that bad because you are sinning against yourself. Please understand that the person that you are laying down with doesn't have to be worshiping some crazy pagan god for it to be bad. You are quite literally taking on everything from them. You are taking on their energy, the energies they shared with other people. You are taking on the spirits that they're battling and wrestling with. This is why it is so bad. So with Solomon sharing that with so many other women, so many other nations, it kept him away from God, and it skewed his vision so much that he started worshiping other gods. Let that be a reminder just how important it is to focus your mind on things above, one, and two, to watch who you let in your bedroom, watch who you let inside you, because that is exactly how the enemy creeps up and steals your focus. Of course, there's so much more to you when it comes to Solomon and everyone after him. So as always, make sure you guys like and follow and comment down below what you guys want me to get into next.
Wow, quite some interesting stuff up to this point. Good vibes, child of God. What is it that you found most intriguing, funny, or would really like to comment about? Tell us down below, child of God, as you continue watching. I hope you have already hit that like button, because what you are about to see next might get you laughing. You might not get a chance to remember about hitting it, because what's coming up is more interesting stuff. You see? Good vibes. Look at this, and here we go. Look, the Haoko gorilla absolutely dotes on his kids. This guy goes and steals the kids from the mama. You see? And you can see him. He looks okay. This woman won't let me have a look at my kid, even see if he resembles me. I think it's time for me now to take matters into my own hands. And the guy decided to run with his son. Go take a look at him somewhere else. Maybe try to teach him backflips. Look, this is great. And you can see the good vibes gorilla is extremely happy. Thinks that, oh, this one might probably looks like me exactly. Look, this is just wonderful gestures. These animals, my friends, who knew they could express love in such a way? This is just great, you see? We should all be loving and caring to one another, like these animals understand love in different versions, you see? Much love to all the parents watching out there. Respect for bringing up kids in this world, treating them with good virtues. You see?
You think Monday to Sunday is natural? You think 60 seconds, 24 hours, 7 days is objective? You think time as you live it wasn't constructed, enforced, and violently standardized? Europeans didn't invent timekeeping. They just carved it up like they carved the globe. Wrong, uneven, and profitable. They didn't even know what a week was. The 7-day week isn't Roman, it's Babylonian. Each day was named after visible celestial bodies: Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. This system spread first through Mesopotamia, then Hellenistic Egypt, then Rome, until eventually it was Christianized. Rome originally used an 8-day market week, or noon. They dropped it for the 7-day rhythm only after Jewish and Christian influence became politically inconvenient to ignore. Even the names of the days are just bad translations of Babylonian deities into Norse and Roman mythology. Sunday equals sun, Monday equals moon, Tuesday equals Tuesday or Mars, Wednesday equals Woden's day or Mercury, Thursday equals Thor's day or Jupiter, Friday equals Frigg's day or Venus, Saturday equals Saturn. None of it is scientific. None of it is rational. It's just myth-based planetary branding slapped on a weekly labor cycle. They didn't invent hours. They rescaled the cosmos. Where do 60 seconds and 60 minutes come from? Time's up. Not Europe. Sumer. Babylon. Ancient Kemet. The sexagesimal system, base 60, was used in Mesopotamia to divide the sky for astronomical calculations as early as 2000 BCE. Ancient Egyptians used 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night, but their hours changed length depending on season. It wasn't until mechanical clocks in 14th century Europe, built by monks to regulate prayer schedules, that we got equal hours, regardless of sun position. Why 24 hours? Why 60 minutes? Time's up, because the Babylonians were tracking celestial movement. Europe was tracking obedience. Time became a weapon, not a measure. Europe didn't use time to align with nature. They used it to control labor. Church bells told peasants when to wake, pray, and work. The mechanical clock was used, not for farming, but for disciplining monastic time, and later, factory shifts. By the Industrial Revolution, time became a form of surveillance. Clock in, clock out. Prove your productivity. Time moved from the stars to the punch card. This was never about rhythm. It was about regimentation. Meanwhile, the rest of the world had time as a balance. Maya used the Solkin, 260-day ritual calendar, and Hab, 365-day solar calendar, tracking agriculture, ceremony, and planetary motion together. The Islamic lunar calendar tracks moon cycles in real time with no leap years, rejecting solar-based correction to center sacred rhythm. Swahili Coast used both lunar and monsoon-based systems, anchored to tide, trade winds, and ritual journeys. These weren't clocks. They were covenants, not against nature, but with it. Global Standard Time? That's just railroad colonialism. The idea of global time zones didn't exist until British railroad and telegraph empires needed to control schedules across vast, stolen territories. Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT, was declared global zero point in 1884, chosen by British diplomats, enforced by colonial infrastructure. All other times were defined relative to empire. Local solar time, once unique to each city, was outlawed in favor of mechanized grid time. Indian, African, and Pacific Island communities were forced to adopt GMT, even if it disrupted prayer, planting, migration, or monsoon patterns. Europe didn't standardize time. They colonized it. One empire's schedule became the whole world's obligation. They never knew how the falcon's shadow to tell time. They didn't invent the week, didn't invent the hour, didn't invent the calendar. They just inherited fragments from older civilizations and repackaged them as modernity, while outlawing every other rhythm. Time in the West isn't based on the cosmos. It's based on convenience, control, and colonial compression. They didn't measure time to understand life. They measured it to own it.
We've discovered, for example, that there were no people on the earth except Africans up to about 55,000 years ago. There are no other people. The African moves across various parts of the world.
Say that again now. Say that again.
There are no people on earth. There are no humans on earth except Africans until about 55,000 years ago. All people are African. The African begins to cross Africa. He crosses also, he moves to the east and he crosses into Asia. And the Africans crossed over into Europe. There are no Europeans at that point in time. Or everyone is black.
Y'all want to hear a joke? There's somebody out there right now that thinks you're a monitoring spirit.
I think the importance of not going to the second location cannot be stressed enough. And a lot of people, when they're faced with a situation, they get scared. They're like, okay, well, if I just comply, I will probably get out of this. If you go to a second location, you are not getting out of it. The chance of you escaping a situation when they try to get you are significantly higher, no matter what that situation is, than it is if you go to a second location. The odds of you returning from a second location are slim to none. You are not coming back. So, right, let's go with the most obvious scenario. Somebody pulls up to you in a white van. They have a gun on you and they say, get in the van. You're better off getting fucking shot right there wherever you are than you are getting in that fucking van. If they're willing to shoot you in broad daylight or night or whatever in public, right where you are, what the fuck you think they're gonna do when they get you where they have no consequences to face? Exactly. You are way better off if you just start ducking and weaving like a fucking crazy man right where you are. Getting shot doesn't even matter. It's literally better for you to get shot, stabbed, whatever, right where you are than to go deal with whatever the fuck they got planned. Because you're not coming back from whatever they got planned, and it's about to be a lot worse than you could probably imagine. Trust me, trust me, trust me.
It is not illegal to have a Bible in communist China, but it is a catch-22 situation for the underground Christians if they want to get a Bible. China is the largest production base of the Bible, with an estimated 200 million copies printed in the last 3 decades, and yet there is only one way to buy a Bible in China. Since the Bible does not have a government-issued ISBN, it cannot be distributed or sold in any bookstores or marketplaces within China. One can only purchase a Bible without being locked up is to get it through churches or bookstores that are affiliated with the China Christian Council or Three Self-Patriotic Movement, the two arms that the CCP used to monitor and control Christians in China. In 2018, the CCP introduced new regulations banning the selling and distribution of Bibles online, and Apple has also removed the Bible app in China, making it impossible for the underground Christians to get a Bible without being traced. If they buy a Bible from the CCP-approved places, they will be recorded by CCTV and identified by the AI, increasing the risk of exposing the information and location of the underground churches. What would you do? Drop a comment and share this with your friends. Keep the faith.
Well, that issue, I think I've not understood wholly. Is it in black and white, my friend? Is it illegal to buy a Bible there, or is it illegal? You see. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This book here, Child of God, we call it the Book of Wisdom, and it has information here, good baby soul, that is always helpful and can help in guiding us in our day-to-day lives. That's why we always read it. Like in this episode, we can read it, or we have read it in the beginning. You see, in the next episode, we read it at the end, all for adding more wisdom in our lives. And now, imagining that there could be some place people could not get access of this book is mind-blowing. Reminds us of why we should share these videos to the whole world, so that even people in such places can get a chance to hear the words from the Book of Wisdom through us, Child of God. You see, tell us how it is like where you come from about this book. What are the perspectives and opinions that people have about it? Anyway, it's more interesting stuff coming up. Look at this UFO disclosure that just happened.
Oh my God, they actually said it.
But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated.
This announcement was made just 3 days ago on April 14, 2025 by Michael Kratsios. He is the director of the White House Office for Science and Technology Policy. It does not get any more official than that. Quote, the US has technology that can manipulate time and space. I will link a playlist of mine down at the bottom so you can see the patents that enable us to do that. This is a huge day for UFO disclosure. You probably don't realize it yet. It goes on to say that technology and science has been intentionally stagnated by policy since the 1970s. Anybody who's been tracking this topic knows this. I'm of the opinion that it goes back way further than that. 2025 is undoubtedly going to be an unprecedented year for UAP and UFO disclosure. Let's take our power back, people.
Just shut my screen door. I don't want my cats to get out.
Fucking actual. Oh my God. Ah! Our sighting!
a car is over 100,000 kilometers here in Japan, it's junk. Like, nobody would buy it. There's always been this kind of cycle in Japan of buying new, shipping all the old cars off to Southeast Asia or Africa, get rid of all the old stuff and keep the business, of cars running. But it's also because the government doesn't really make it easy. So you got to keep doing the shaken every 2 years, yearly road tax. And there's actually like a penalty now. The older the car, the more emissions. So you pay a little bit more every year, which is a bit sad to see because, Japanese manufacturers should really celebrate their heritage. We should help the people that are prepared to spend extra money to look after these cars.
Did you know you could use oil and printer paper to create transparencies for your screen print? Let me show you how. You can use any oil that you have laying around at home, like vegetable, olive, or even baby oil. And you could print your images on regular printer paper in black and white. You want to take whatever oil you're using and pour a generous amount on both the front and back of your paper and rub it in. And then afterwards, you're going to let it sit for a couple hours, or you can do like me and let it sit overnight until it's completely dry. And once that paper is completely dry, you could then use that transparency to burn your screen. I've never paid for pre-burned screens before, and I do the whole process at home, and it's way easier than you think. And this is how one of my transparencies has held up over the past couple months using this method. So let me know if you just learned something new, or if you've even used this process before. And leave any other questions y'all have in the comments down below. Peace.
I hate when people use over to describe small numbers. Just watching this vlog, and this guy said, yeah, this allowed me to travel to over 8 countries this year. As in 9? Or is it 12? Then say 12. Over 8 countries? That's between 9 and infinity. Just say the fucking number.